if you're worried about that.
So you've got 4 lone operatives in this list.
It's a very strong rule.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You've got Shadow Sun, you've got the Fireside team, and you've got 2 of these.
If you can shoot people and just not be shot back, that's you're winning.
Yeah, guard armies are
You
crying
winning.
right now.
They actually are.
Hello and welcome to this How to Play video. I am Jordan and today I am joined here with Michael Costello and we shall be looking at the T'au today. We are going to look at the army rules and detachment rules and everything that comes with the detachment. And then Michael has kindly created a competitive T'au list.
Yep.
So we shall look at that at the very end of the video, see how the new index matches up. Okay, Mike, so what's the army rule for the T'au?
The army rule for the T'au, which coincidentally was my first ever 40k army.
Okay,
Pretty
nice.
Is for the greater good.
I don't like the slogan, but yeah, sure.
Okay, so not every unit has it. Kroot, Vespids, the fortifications, they don't have this ability.
So your auxiliary and stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
They're not gonna. This isn't gonna apply to them. But what it means is when you have a unit and you're going to shoot with it, you pick a friendly other unit.
Right.
That friendly other unit picks an enemy unit.
Right.
And then your shooting unit gets +1 ballistic skill.
Okay.
Against that target. Okay?
Right.
But if it shoots anything else,
yep,
it's -1 to its ballistic skill.
Okay, right. So one of them's getting +1 ballistic skill.
That's right.
The other one's getting their normal shots at that target, but if they shoot anywhere else, they get -1 ballistic skill.
Close.
Okay,
so
right.
Your main unit gets +1 ballistic skill against that target.
Yeah.
But if it shoots anything else, it's -1 ballistic skill.
Okay, right. Okay, I got
the unit that's spotting for them, or the observer unit as they're called, doesn't have to shoot the target.
Right.
That they're spotting. They can shoot anything else, and there's no debuff to them.
Cool.
Okay?
So the only buff and debuff is happening to the unit that is benefiting from the rule.
Exactly that.
Okay.
However, your observer unit is not able to then observe or be guided by anyone else. They've fulfilled their role in the sort of the teamwork.
Sure. So they only work in pairs. They can't work in triples.
That's right.
Right.
That's
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
There are some rulings in some events that say that you can sort of do a trickle effect.
Okay.
I don't think that's how it should be, and I don't think that's how it's intended. So I recommend you run it. You do a pair. Someone that has observed for someone else is no longer eligible to be guided or observe again.
Right. And can we just clarify what eligible is in the game?
Yes,
so
yes.
How can you be eligible to shoot?
Okay, so eligible to shoot means that you haven't advanced or fallen back.
Right.
Or perhaps you have a pistol or a vehicle in melee.
Okay.
Or in engagement range.
So you don't necessarily have to have a ranged weapon.
No.
You just have to be able to fire a ranged weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
However, the unit that's observing doesn't have to be eligible to shoot the target they're picking.
Okay.
Okay, they have to be eligible to shoot.
Right.
But they don't have to be eligible to shoot the target that they're observing.
Right.
So, for example, if you have a unit of crisis suits in engagement range of an enemy unit, you could observe the target unit that's in engagement range.
Okay.
With an infantry unit that's somewhere else.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going. Right, sure.
Even though they wouldn't normally be an eligible target.
Yeah.
And then the crisis suits can be guided to shoot that infantry unit that's in combat with it.
Yes. So I know this is quite. We just want to clarify a few of these interactions because it can be quite tricksy. So what you're saying is because these have the big guns never tire rule.
That's right. Yes.
They are eligible to shoot in that combat.
Yes.
But you can't say if they were in combat with an infantry squad, as you said. Other units can't shoot the infantry squad, right?
That's right, but they can select them to observe.
Because they can see them.
They can see them, exactly.
Right, and you have to have line of sight to observe.
That's right.
Cool.
That's right.
I've got it now, Mike.
Awesome.
It makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Yes, cool.
Excellent.
Nice. And is that everything for the rule, yeah?
Not quite. So if you've got the marker light keyword and you're observing, then the guided unit ignores cover as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay? Yeah, perfect. Nice. And things like the drones can give you marker light keyword, or you can have it inbuilt if you're like a Pathfinder or a Firesight Marksman, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
So super handy to sprinkle some drones in there for marker lights. That's why you want that marker light drone in there. So definitely recommend you do that if you're starting to play T'au.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, mate. Well, the next thing to look at is the detachment rule. So what have we got going on here?
All right, so this is Kauyon. This is the T'au's equivalent to like the patient hunter, laying a trap and then engaging with the enemy. And hence, the rule is only from the 3rd battle round onwards. Okay. So there's basically no ability until the third battle round.
Right. Okay.
All right. And what you get is sustained 1 on all of your shots.
Fantastic.
So yeah, amazing. And then sustained 2 if you're guided.
Okay. Right. So it's building into the army rule. You obviously want to start getting these benefits with the guiding, and then you're getting sustained 2 if you are guided.
Yes.
Sustained anyway is fantastic.
Yeah.
The downside maybe coming. I mean, turns 1 and 2 aren't usually the damage turns.
No, but if someone's like quite an aggressive army,
Yeah.
it can be a bit of an issue that your damage, your detachment, you're relying on surviving till turn 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there's one way around it to get it a little bit earlier with an enhancement, but otherwise you're stuck with it how it is. You need to play your game a little bit slower.
Okay.
Don't try and get close to the enemy too early on.
Yeah.
You'll have the opportunity to score some points later. And bear in mind that some of your units are actually incredibly tanky. So they can survive a turn 2 charge or whatever and then start to kick back damage when it comes to your turn 3.
Most definitely. So what you're saying is be a patient hunter.
Be a patient hunter. That's literally what the rule is, or the whole thing. So just make sure you are playing to that.
Yeah, cool. So it's a thematic way of playing the army.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Nice, I like it.
There are a few other little bits here,
right?
Just to point out.
Yeah.
So if you've got an ethereal in the list, you can't have Commander Farsight.
Makes sense.
And vice versa.
Okay, cool.
All right.
That makes complete sense because the ethereals are the abomination of the T'au cast.
Yes.
Yeah? They are called casts, right?
Yeah, they're called casts.
So T'au cast, and
And Farsight doesn't like them.
Farsight's an absolute legend.
They do not like Farsight.
No.
So they don't get on.
Doesn't like them.
They don't get on. Don't put them in the army together because you can't.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. And can Shadow Sun, does she go with Farsight as well? Or?
So Shadow Sun, this is all about keywords, actually.
Okay.
So Shadow Sun doesn't have a keyword about being Farsight enclaves or T'au Sept.
Okay.
So there's nothing here to say that either of them couldn't team up.
Right. Okay. So but it's more.
They have in the past. Though.
They have in the. Oh, they have in the past.
They have in the lore.
Right.
So you absolutely could do it.
Oh, fantastic! Sorry, I was under the impression they'd never interact.
No. So they've got like a respect for each other, but
okay.
they don't like each other. They're both masters of different styles of warfare.
He's Montcar, she's Calyon.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
But you can have them together if you wanted.
Nice. Well, I think overall it works to the army. I think I do like the spotting. Once you get past the wording of it, I do think it's a fantastic rule. But yeah, brilliant. All right, well, let's take a break and let's look at the enhancements next.
Cool.
But before we continue, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, The Outpost. If you're looking for great deals on your miniatures, paints and gaming supplies, we've got you covered. Their wide variety of exceptional service makes them the go-to destination for all hobby needs. So don't wait, check out The Outpost today. Link in the description below.
Okay, Mike, so tell me about these enhancements.
Okay, all right. So you can't have any of these on a Kroot Shaper except for one of them, which is Precision of the Patient Hunter.
That must hurt you, mate.
I know.
I know you love your Kroot.
I want the Kroot will be good one day.
One day the Kroot will rise and overtake their T'au overlords.
No, they just want them to be quite good.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do that one first, since I mentioned it.
Yeah.
TauEmpire model only, obviously. Each time the bearer makes a ranged attack.
What's this one called first?
Precision of the Patient Hunter.
Nice. Okay.
Each time the bearer makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the hit roll. From the third battle round onwards, add 1 to the wound roll as well.
Okay. Cool.
So this is only going to affect your character.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is going to be more effective on a model that has lots of guns.
Yeah, sure.
So one of your commanders is probably
I think this is going to be a common theme, right?
Yes. The commanders are obviously going to be some of your best units anyway.
Yeah.
They have been if you've played T'au previously to 10th edition.
Sure.
So nice little upgrade for your commander or your Kroot Shaper if you really want to do it.
We do love a Kroot Shaper around here.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move swiftly on.
Yeah.
Exemplar of the Calyon.
Okay.
All right. Now, this is the one I alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
While you're leading a unit, that unit gets the effects of Calyon 1 turn earlier, so from the second battle round onwards.
Okay, so I think this is good.
I agree.
I think it's a good good enhancement. Do you think it's in the category, though, of auto take?
I think it depends how many commanders you're running.
Okay.
If you're running at least 2 commanders, it's probably up there with the auto takes.
Yeah.
It's reasonably pricey, but it's worth it because what it means is turn 2, you get your sustained 1 all the time.
Yeah.
And sustained 2, and it makes that crisis brick an absolute powerhouse. I wouldn't take this on anything else. I don't think it's worth it. And remember that effectively, this is only giving you 1 turn of a buff.
Yeah,
right?
so you're paying for that extra, just 1 turn of the game, you're paying points just to make sure you're doing a maximum damage, right?
Yeah, exactly. But when you start to pair it with something like Overwatch, you actually get 2 shootings out of it, if that makes sense.
Okay, right,
Because, of course, if it's turn 2, you get to shoot in your turn 2.
Yeah.
And then you can Overwatch and get the benefits of sustained in your opponent's turn 2 as well.
Fantastic.
So it is actually pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I really like that, mate. It also counters maybe that weakness that we were saying that obviously if you're going against those ultra aggressive armies, you actually have a unit that can do the maximum damage against the combat charging armies, the World Eaters, not the Blood Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you see what I did there?
Yeah,
not the Blood Angels.
of course.
Yeah, exactly. What's the third one, mate?
The third one is Puretide Engram Neurochip.
That's a mouthful.
So Puretide is basically the teacher of Shadow Sun and Farsight.
Oh,
so he's like the full-on master.
Right. Okay. Sensei.
And exactly, and this is like a neurochip made from all of his tactical memories. Anyway,
right.
So the TauEmpire model, can have a stratagem used on its unit, even though it's already been used on another unit that turn or that phase rather.
So we've seen this ability with the captain for Space Marines. However, this is not making the stratagem not 0 CP.
It's not 0 CP. It'd be incredible if it was 0 CP. It's still good.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a couple of reasons why. So if you have the command points to hand, you can do Fire and Fade later in the game. You can do we'll talk about the stratagems in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
I've just gone ahead and just...
That's fine, mate. I know you're eager because it's the Tau, so it's fine.
But core stratagems-wise, you could do a double Overwatch.
Fantastic.
Which is insane.
Yep,
okay.
I hate that.
So you could have 2 Crisis Bricks. One could spend it. The other one could do it, spend it again, but you'd be able to do the stratagem again. You could tank shock twice, potentially.
I find that hilarious that Crisis suits can tank shock.
Yes, they're vehicles.
Yeah.
They're vehicles, strength 5, so you're not rolling many dice. But yeah.
Doing that twice is actually
not bad.
pretty funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. If you have... Don't worry, in fact, we'll talk about Farsight later because you could... Anyway, what's the last one, mate?
Through Unity Devastation.
Okay.
This one I think is a little underrated.
Right.
So what this does is while this model's leading a unit,
yep,
then when that unit observes a target,
right,
the guided unit gets lethal hits against that target.
Okay, so this is going to help you against your tougher targets, right?
Yes.
So plasmas, if I'm right, strength 9?
8.
Strength 8. So when you're looking at something that's strength 9 or higher, which is most vehicles, well, pretty much all vehicles in the game, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be looking at 5s, whereas this will... Your 6s are just going straight in,
exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. The only downside to this one is which unit to put it on.
Yes.
So this is probably best done on maybe a Fireblade that's with like a strike team or something.
Yeah.
Or an ethereal.
Breaches.
Breaches, exactly. Putting it on with some breaches. But it doesn't quite work on your suits because they're the unit that you want to be guided.
Yeah, sure.
Rather than the one that you want to be spotting for someone else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they seem like they've all got a place. Maybe the Patient Hunter one isn't up to the standards, but yeah, I think overall you've got one auto include.
Yeah, definitely.
One auto, which would be the Patient Hunter, not Patient Hunter. What's
the sustained?
That's the one.
Yes, getting your cowie on a bit earlier.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then if you can find it in the list, I definitely recommend the extra stratagem, even though you've already used one. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, we'll take another break and we'll look at the stratagems next.
Cool.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Colourforge, our fantastic sponsor. Their range of spray paints has become our go-to for making our miniatures come to life quickly and efficiently. The quality and variety of colours they offer are truly unmatched, providing a smooth application for stunning effects every time. Check out Colourforge for your next hobby project.
Okay, Mike, so what are the stratagems?
All right, the first one's stim injectors.
Okay, right.
Right, now you're going to use this in the fight phase or your opponent's shooting phase.
Okay.
After you've been selected as the target of their attacks.
Right.
And what this does, it's only for battle suits, but you get Feel No Pain 6+ until the end of the phase.
Fantastic, right?
Yeah, this is great, but it's only really effective on either a lot of wounds.
Yes.
So if you're taking crisis suits and there's only maybe 3 in the unit, it might not be as effective.
Yeah.
But if you're taking like 6 or 3 broadsides, or you've got like I don't know, a Riptide or one of the Forge World fancy variants, this can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And when we get to the star of the index, in my opinion, crisis suits, we're going to see how effective this can be numbers wise.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having a 6-up feel no pain anyway, just on because they can get to like 6 wounds each, can't they? So
this is the thing. Yes.
When you can start to mitigate some of the damage when damage 2 and 3 is coming in at you, it becomes really, really important.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. All right, solid strat.
Yep.
What's the next one, mate?
Strike and Fade.
Okay, I'm pretty familiar with this one.
You'll see this in a few other fast armies indexes. 2 command points. TauEmpire Empire battlesuit that can fly.
Right.
After it's shot, if it's not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can make a normal move, but cannot charge.
We don't care about charging with Tau, right?
We do not care about charging.
So that's absolutely fine. But doing a normal move. So how far do crisis suits move?
So they move 10. I think it's 10. It might be 8.
It's 8. Oh, okay.
No, it's 10. It's 10. Definitely 10. It is definitely 10.
10, so definitely they can move 10.
The reason I'm confused is because if you attach a cold start to a crisis team, they go to movement 12.
Ah, okay, right.
Which obviously pretty big implications because it would work with that stratagem.
Yes,
you
definitely.
You could shoot and then move 12 inches.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Because you can get your line of sight and then literally just go back into cover and stuff. Because don't forget, these aren't as maneuverable as in previous editions, right?
No.
Because of how vehicles work with fly and buildings and terrain. They can't just go over the top of a building now. It's really difficult to get them in those situations. Having the ability to move out and stuff like that is it's brilliant. Yeah, that's really good. But 2 CP?
It's expensive, yeah.
Expensive. Expensive. All right, well, what's the third one, mate?
Coordinate to engage.
Okay.
I really like this one. I think it's very, very cool. Basically, after you've guided your unit, okay, the observer unit, you can use this stratagem on the observer unit.
Right.
And they essentially become guided against the spotted target.
Okay.
Now,
nice.
It's not worded, it's not guided.
Yeah.
They just get the +1 ballistic skill and ignores cover if they've got a marker light.
Okay.
Right, and for that reason, it doesn't stack with the lethal hits ability.
Right.
Because they're not being guided.
Yeah, sure.
A bit of a shame. It would have been awesome to see a bit of crossover there by using that wording. In which case you might even consider it on crisis suits.
Yeah.
Because then you could get lethal hits on yourself and another unit.
Yeah.
Alongside you. But it is still a good stratagem.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting +1 ballistic skill on Tau is pretty big.
Yes.
So being able to pop this and have your 2 units on +1 ballistic skill is good.
Yeah.
Good strat.
Definitely. I like it, mate. I like it. Well, what's the fourth one?
Point blank ambush.
Ooh, okay.
Very, very simple, this one. So basically, shooting phase against targets within 9 inches of your unit, extra AP.
Fantastic.
However, you can't use it in the first or second battle rounds.
Right, so we're seeing the conjunction with the Calyon.
Yes.
And that's not, obviously, it's not going to work in conjunction with the enhancement either, is it? Where you get the extra.
No.
Okay,
no,
right.
It's not.
Okay, that's a shame. But still, getting an extra AP.
Extra AP, when you've got pretty much army-wide ignores cover.
Yeah.
Extra AP is nasty. Really nasty.
So I think the way that this army is looking to me is that you really want to be holding your forces back, trying to get them at objectives, maybe have some alpha units just to keep the objectives for them first few turns, and then your big stuff comes in turn 3 and just does a world of hurt to your opponent.
Exactly. That is how you want to play this. You want to bait them onto your objectives to try and take them off you, or to do all their cards and stuff, and then you want to do this turn 3, boom, in there. You can start a little bit earlier, turn 2, with the unit that has the enhancement.
Yeah.
But you want to, absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's the play style. That's how you got to do it.
Nice. Well, we've got 2 left, so what's the next one, mate?
So the next one is photon grenades.
Okay, I remember these from
one.
edition.
Everybody hated it.
I absolutely hate them.
The previous edition.
I hate them.
So 1 T'au Empire grenades unit.
Right.
Okay, in your opponent's charge phase after they've declared your grenades unit as the target.
Okay.
So you basically throw your photon grenades at them while they're trying to charge at you. They now immediately take a battle shock test.
Right.
And regardless of the result, they're -2 to their charge rolls.
So does that mean your opponent could then select a different target or not?
No.
So they have to go into that?
Yes. Yeah. Because they've selected you as the target. Now you use the stratagem.
Okay.
Now their charge roll is -2. before they make the roll.
If they become battle shocked, there's no re-roll on that charge
Potentially,
either.
yes. Yeah, potentially.
Okay, that's really good for this army.
It's good.
Yeah, because I mean, combat isn't as prevalent, right, in 10th edition. However, those combat armies, I'm thinking World Eaters.
Yep.
My Blood Angels.
Yep.
Tier. Are going to struggle against, and it's going to make you think, right, if I want to get this charge, I'm going to have to make sure I'm even closer to you.
Yeah, exactly, because they're going to use the...
Exactly.
Yeah. -2.
Yeah, that's really good.
It is limited to grenade units only. So you're looking at pretty much just the Fire Warriors and Strike Teams and Pathfinders.
Do Crisis Suits have
Crisis Suits do not have grenades.
Yes!
So no -2 to charge them. Just make sure you don't declare a charge against both.
Because
it would apply to the entire unit,
Nice. All right, last one.
Combat Embarkation.
Ooh, okay.
This has to be maybe my favourite of the stratagems. There's a play style with T'au that I really like with this. It's not what I've written the list around.
Okay.
But it's certainly an avenue you can go. Right, and what this is in your opponent's charge phase, after they've declared a charge, you choose an infantry unit that was declared as the target, and you choose a transport, and provided your infantry unit is wholly within 3 inches of the transport, you can embark back on the vehicle. It's very, very cool. That's
hilarious.
It's just within. It's not even wholly within.
Well, so you just
even better.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's going to help out quite a bit then when you have your 10-man units, right? Nice.
There does have to be transport capacity for them.
Of course. Yeah, sure.
You can't
yeah.
just cram the guys in.
Just
don't charge us, please. So, that's really great, and it's nice to see a little buff for the fire teams and stuff. Very good on breaches because they're a close range unit. So you get up close with your devilfish, you get out, shoot your breaches, and then if your opponent wants to charge you, there's the threat of the breach just getting back in the devilfish. And because tanks are so much tougher than infantry, they may not have the tools to take your tank down.
Right.
Turn after you get out and you shoot them again.
So let's say I declared a charge against the breaches. They combat embark.
Yep.
Do I then get to redeclare charge?
Yes. Yes, you do. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So you can choose not to charge, or you can choose to charge something else.
Cool. Right. Okay. So it gives the option for both players, but it also means that you're not losing your valuable asset of the breaches.
Yeah.
Potentially could lose the devilfish, but that's much better option exactly than the unit that you want to be doing.
It's fantastic, and those two stratagems. I mean, all of them work well, but those two stratagems very good for a sort of breaches and devilfish mobilized infantry build.
Yeah.
And what I would love to do is run a build like that, but use that enhancement to let you do an extra stratagem.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, that would be funny.
You could have 2 breach units get out, target a unit.
Yeah.
And then if your opponent tries to charge those breach units, you can pop it with one and then get in, pop it with the other, get back in the other one. Or you could do double photon grenades.
That's hilarious.
So
I actually really look. I must say I don't like T'au. Right, they're one of my armies I've had to play continually with my brother.
Yeah.
And T'au just because this is the army I always have to play in tournaments for some reason.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And I hate the shooting phase. I'm mini Steve in that regard, right?
Fair enough.
But that's really cool to me.
Yeah, it is.
I really like that.
It's very cool.
I know it might not be the most competitive. It works competitively.
It would work, yeah.
I don't think we're going to see that as the primary build of competitiveness.
It's not the min-max kind of option.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But overall, though, 6 great strats.
Yeah, great stratagems.
You've definitely got your choice of stratagems of what you want to use. You've got your counter to combat armies.
Yeah.
You've got your buffs to your shooting weapons.
Yep.
You've even got your defensive ones for your crisis suits to help keep them alive a bit more. Brilliant. Nice. Yeah. I really like it, dude. All right, so should we look at some of the units that you've picked?
Yeah, we'll look at some units, and I do want to talk about drones as well briefly.
Okay, right. We'll start with the drones, and we'll be back in a moment.
With the release of Warhammer 40,000 10th edition, at Vanguard Tactics, we've put together the perfect course for you. If you're already playing 9th edition, but you want to seamlessly transition into the new edition, leave behind everything you know about 9th and understand everything you need to know about 10th, then this short course is going to be ideal. We break down all the complexities and give you step-by-step guidance on how to really make the most from 10th edition. We're going to help you understand all the basics of the game and then some top tips along the way to help you really get the most from your army and your playing experience. And if that's something you want to do and get signed up on our short course, which you can study in your own time, then do check out the links below and get signed up to our accelerator program.
Okay, Mike. So let's start looking at these units.
Okay.
So, drones.
Drones, right. This is a big shift if you haven't played T'au, or if you have played T'au in previous editions.
Yeah.
And even for a newcomer, where you have a kit and then you make one of these really cool drones, it's no longer considered a model.
I wondered why there's no drones on a table.
Well, actually, George, it's because they take ages to set up and there's so many.
Oh, so you're being lazy.
In a way, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Can't get the staff, guys.
So when you've got drones, they're essentially a war gear upgrade.
Okay, cool.
Right. Now, what I do recommend you do is have some of the models on the table. So it's easy for your opponent to see, oh, you've got a marker drone in that unit. And of course, place the drone next to the model that is equipped with the drone.
Okay.
So essentially what you've got here is, for example, you've got Guardian drones, which a lot of your infantry can have. And this subtracts 1 from the wound roll for ranged attacks.
Nice.
Okay. And this would be equipped to the Chazoué, the sergeant of the squad.
The guy without helmets usually, right?
Yeah, usually people love to have sergeants without helmets.
Yeah, fish heads.
Anyway, or you could have a gun drone, which basically means your model is equipped with some extra guns. That's how you use that, essentially.
Yeah.
But if the model that is equipped with those drones dies, then the drones go with them. The war gear goes with them.
So that's why it's important to, maybe if you only have one model in the unit, to have the drone next to it, just to indicate that guy's got the drones. Cool.
So crisis suits, there's 6 models in the unit.
Yeah.
They can each have 2 drones. If only one of them has a marker drone, then I definitely recommend putting a marker drone next to that suit all of the time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, especially when we come to shield drones, which actually increase your wounds characteristic.
Cool.
You need to know which suit only has a certain number of wounds compared to the other ones.
But if the whole unit has them,
has the same equipment,
it's probably just best not to put them on, because
when
you've got 6 guys, that's 12 drones just floating around and have no play.
It's a lot of faff.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Is that your excuse for not putting them on the table?
In a way, yes. Sure. I mean, I love drone models. I think they're very cool, and I would probably put on a few anyway. But if they start to get in the way of movement or because of terrain or whatever, remember they don't technically exist as a model. So they can't be charged, you can't draw line of sight to them.
Exactly.
Nothing like that.
So for all my combat brothers and sisters out there, if you see someone with drones, don't worry about them. They're not there to charge. It's just the rest of the guys, okay?
Yeah. So just wanted to cover that with drones.
I think it's important because they have played quite a pivotal role, right, for T'au for a while. Yes. So it's nice to see this way, I think, personally. I'm not a T'au player, but it's nice to see not having as much interaction with the drones themselves, because there was quite a few shenanigans where you could just sacrifice drones.
Yeah. They led to a lot of the hate surrounding T'au.
Exactly. Whereas now it's actually a lot more simple.
Yes.
Which is great. But let's look at some spotlight units, dude. So what's this first one that you want to look at?
I actually really wanted to look at Shadow Sun.
Cool. Right.
Okay, so I wanted to cover Shadow Sun and Farsight.
Yep.
And because a lot of players out there, you're probably thinking, I like one of these 2, so I'm going to run one of these 2.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a huge fan of Farsight's lore, so you want to run Farsight.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously with VT, we encourage you to run the things you want to run and just make the most out of them.
Yeah.
Rather than necessarily drop something you love because it's not strong in the game.
Like Dante.
Like Dante, for example. And I will always respect you, George, for running Dante, even though some people don't think he's the meta pick.
Thanks, bro.
So Shadow Sun, what does she give you? Well, she's lone operative.
Fantastic.
She's infiltrators.
Fantastic.
She's got stealth.
Fantastic.
Cool. Excellent. She's relatively tough. Toughness 4, 6 wounds, 3 up save. Fine. She's got lone operative. Doesn't really matter.
Yep.
She can fall back and shoot. Okay. Probably don't want to be that close to the enemy anyway.
Yep.
But fine. Here's the kicker. While a friendly T'au Empire unit's within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, reroll a hit roll of 1.
So is that every roll of 1?
Every single roll of 1.
Perfect. Yes. Cool. Right. Yeah. Nice. Well, that's brilliant when you can start combining spotting and the stratagem. And you can really increase your efficiency. So she's got tactical.
There's not really any other way in the index of getting rerolls to hit.
Okay, right. That changes things then, doesn't it? Because she becomes almost an auto-include in that sense, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. There are, there's some Forge World units that do it for you, but in the index, she's your only option for rerolls. Right. She does, of course, affect literally anything.
Yeah.
So if you take, she affects herself. She affects hammerheads.
Crew.
Yeah, crew. Broadsides.
Oh.
And she is probably best when you've got your objectives on the table, because she's a lone operative. Maybe that second objective that you really want to hold, have her there, and then have some units around her benefiting from her, kicking out lots of damage.
Nice.
You know, because she could buff a couple of hammerheads and some broadsides potentially on an objective. That's tough to remove and very efficient.
You've just made a castle which is getting extreme benefits.
Exactly.
Nice.
And don't worry about the damage she puts out, because she can spot for you. She doesn't have to do damage to help you, so she can spot for you. I think she's all round. She's great. She does also have the ability to refund CP for you if you use a stratagem on a friendly unit within 6.
So that could work in conjunction with the enhancement where you can use 2 stratagems. So there's the potential to get one of those back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right. So that's really nice. I see some utility with her then, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool. So what's Farsight do then?
So our yin and yang, we've got Commander Farsight.
His model is fantastic.
It is a fantastic model. We don't have it painted up yet.
We are going to get it painted up.
We're going to do it. I might have to take things into my own hands.
He's in the other room, Mike.
Yeah. So Farsight has a pretty standard battlesuit, data sheet. But he's got the Dawn Blade.
Right, this is the corn-infused sword,
This is the
right?
only melee weapon available to a T'au model. Okay.
Does the guy with the Cadre Fireblade with the little dagger in his hand?
He doesn't get to use it, no.
He doesn't get to use his dagger?
It is technically a ceremonial dagger to represent...
It's like them little plastic toys you can get from Toys R Us?
Not quite. It's like a ritual knife.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because they bond to each other using a ritual with knives involved before battles.
Right,
and that's anyway,
sure.
The T'au lore for you there.
Sure.
So Commander Farsight, it's got the Dawn Blade.
Right.
This is 4 attacks, hit on 2, strength 10, AP2, flat 3 damage.
Nice.
So it's better than anything else you've got.
Yeah.
If someone does try and tag your unit with maybe 3 Space Marines, you're pretty reliably killing them. Well, reasonably reliably killing them.
You're putting them on 5 phase, right?
Exactly. So that's quite nice. More importantly, though, it's a strength 10 weapon on a vehicle model. So you can tank shock.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I'm actually surprised. I said this earlier.
Yeah, so he can run in there and just shoulder barge or point his sword in their face.
I think let's just say he actually sweeps his sword, because that's more of the damage, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So he doesn't just like 2-foot kick. I reckon that's what he does.
He drop kicks people.
He drops it using his jetpack.
Yeah.
Like drop.
No, that's a Dante move, dude.
True.
Exactly.
Anyway. So nice to have that option. Do mortal wounds on the charge.
Yeah.
There's not a huge amount of mortal wounds that can be done with the T'au.
No.
There's not a huge amount of devastating wounds. So this is a great way of getting some mortal wounds in there.
Cool.
Anyway, while they're leading a unit, you add 1 to the wound roll if you're targeting someone within 9 inches. +1 to wound.
Fantastic.
Big on T'au.
Fantastic.
The crisis suits themselves, fusion blasters are very short range.
Yeah.
But plasma rifles, cyclic ion blasters, missile pods, strength 7, strength 8, +1 to wound now means you can kill vehicles.
So what you could do, strike and fade, move forward, shoot all your stuff, strike and fade back.
Yeah.
So you get close, get back.
Yeah.
Or extra AP.
Yeah.
Because you'll be within 9 for his rule as
absolutely.
well. So I can see he's definitely buffing up your crisis suits, and that's the unit you want him with, right? Whereas this is army-wide.
Yes.
His one is more unit-specific.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Also, rapid ingress is quite good.
Yeah.
Because if you know your opponent can't shoot you or can't deal enough damage to you, you can turn up and then move your 10 inches.
Yeah.
Get within that 9 inches. And again, another good strat for that enhancement, being able to rapid ingress 2 crisis bricks is spicy.
It's very spicy.
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah, that's some hot Nando's.
Okay, cool. And he's got a once per battle ability to reroll his hits and wounds in combat.
Not so great. Well, I mean, it's great. I'd take it.
It's good for that one time it matters, but
yeah, exactly.
Not
exactly. All right, so next unit, mate.
Okay, let's talk about, I think crisis suits is probably worth talking about.
Yeah.
Because I personally think they're the all-star unit.
Yes.
They are iconic. They are probably the most popular T'au unit.
They're the elite of the elite, right?
Yes.
This is your top dogs.
These are your top dogs. So these guys, 10-inch move.
Cool.
Toughness 5.
Nice.
3 up save, 4 wounds, OC2.
OC2's nice.
Yeah, OC2 is nice. Is very nice. These are vehicles.
So this is a massive change for the crisis.
This is a massive change, and it has upsides and downsides.
Yes.
Okay, there's a lot of anti-infantry, 2+ or whatever out there. Doesn't work on crisis suits.
Haywire, baby.
Haywire does work on crisis suits.
Grav, baby.
Grav does work on crisis suits because they're vehicles. The main downside to this is that you give up so many points on the bring it down secondary.
Yes.
So expect your opponent to have an eye on taking fixed and taking bring it down if you have even just the 6 crisis suits and some other stuff in the army. Because it's 2 victory points per crisis suit that they kill.
It's a lot, isn't it? When you got the 6, I mean, you're looking at a lot of vehicles in the army anyway.
Yeah.
It's quite a mechanized army.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, right. What's the upside, so?
Well, the upside is they can have 4 pieces of equipment.
Oh, okay.
Okay, including duplicates of weapons. Right. So the first go-to for me is the shield generator, because it gives your model a 4+ invulnerable save.
Okay, right, nice.
Cool. Whatever's shooting at you, 4 up.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Nice.
Right? And then, of course, after your 4 up invuln, you might have a 6+ feel no pain from the stratagem.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Which, again, you could be able to use on 2 different units if you've got that enhancement. It's sounding even more and more like an auto take to me.
Yeah.
That enhancement.
Okay, right.
Okay. Either that, or you could also have another piece of war gear, which is a fall back and shoot. Cool. You're a vehicle, you've got big guns, never tire. Yeah. You can shoot at the target that's in combat with you anyway.
And shoot out.
And shoot out of combat too.
Doesn't really affect it too much, right?
Or you can have a weapon support system that lets you ignore modifiers to your hit rolls. It's not bad.
I think that's quite good, actually.
It's not bad because you can ignore the -1 to hit while you're in engagement range. It's not bad. But you probably want the 4-up invuln and 3 weapons.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's either a weapon or, one of these things. And I'd rather have more shots to roll.
You're probably going to be scoring more
likely
that way.
to hit.
Exactly. And as you said, that there are ways to get rerolls. There are other ways to...
Yeah, you can guide the unit.
Guide them. So, yeah, sure. Nice.
Cool. Okay. So there's a few standout weapons here that I consider.
Right.
And a few that I probably wouldn't. So I'll just mention the ones that I think are very good.
Cool.
Okay, so we've got the plasma rifle.
Yep.
This is one of the only sources of flat 3 damage.
Right, so available. That's important.
It's only 1 shot, 24-inch range. Strength 8 -3, flat 3 damage.
Potentially AP4, potentially +1 to wound with far sight.
+1 to wound, probably hitting on 3s.
Yeah.
Because you'd be guided with sustained.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Okay.
And 3 shots a model.
3 shots a model. I probably wouldn't take 3 on a suit.
No?
No, I'd probably look at maybe 1 on each suit and have 6 across the whole unit.
Right.
And then 2 of another weapon.
Okay, all right, cool. What's the other weapon then that you would take?
So if you prefer to engage at longer ranges, the missile pod's perfect.
Cool.
Because it's 30-inch range.
Right.
And you get 2 shots per gun, so that's going to be at least 4 per suit. Strength 7, AP1, 2 damage. So not too bad. However, if you like to get up close and kick out enormous amounts of damage, the cyclic ion blaster is the way.
Right.
This used to be a prototype weapon and once per army. But now everybody's got one.
They've upgraded. The T'au Empire has upgraded their technology further.
Yeah,
right.
It's very good. So your standard profile is 3 shots at 18-inch range, strength 7, AP1, 1 damage. Cool. That's 9 shots per suit still at strength 7, AP1, 1 damage.
If you don't take the plasmas.
If you don't, don't take the plasmas and if you don't overcharge. If you do overcharge, it does become hazardous. Okay. Which means after you've shot, you roll a dice for every single cyclic ion blast you've fired from that unit with overcharge. And on 1s, you're going to take 3 mortal wounds.
Because they're vehicles.
Because they're vehicles.
Right, cool. So...
Risky.
Risky.
Definitely risky.
Yeah.
So this is why you might consider 1 plasma on each suit.
To have the higher damage.
2 cyclic ions so that you're only rolling a certain number of dice.
Yeah, sure.
All right, but the overcharge is worth it because it's strength 8, AP2, 2 damage.
Right. So, yeah, that's really good. It's really good. I do think maybe putting the 1 plasma and 2 of the others.
Yes.
2 cyclic ions is the way to go with it because you're balancing out that insecurity of potentially killing models, right?
Exactly.
And they're quite hefty points wise. These guys. So losing 1 can feel quite hurtful. Okay, dude. So overall, crisis suits are going to be the staple to your list, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd expect to see a unit of 6 at minimum with a commander leading them. And you could absolutely go for 2 units of 6.
Cool.
There is even an argument for a unit of 3 for a smaller deep strike footprint. Yeah. Get in there, fire your shots. So yeah, crisis suits, outstanding unit.
Brilliant.
Does unfortunately suffer from the vehicles giving up points thing we mentioned.
Yeah. It's what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is. You kind of just got to take it.
Exactly. They've still got a lot of benefits, haven't they?
Yeah.
Okay, Mike. So what's the next unit you want to look at?
So I want to look at a very cool battlesuit, the Ghost Kill.
Okay, so I never really seen these in 9th edition. So what does he do?
Right, so, I mean, the main thing here is the Lone Operative. So he has Lone Operative, or they have Lone Operative. They also have Stealth.
Fantastic.
All right. Now, Lone Operative, usually not a big deal. This guy is Toughness 8 with a 2+ save and 12 wounds. So you're going to have to get within 12 inches first.
Okay.
And then you've got to deal with that profile. All right.
Right.
In addition to that, the stealth drones, again, it's war gear. They're not represented on the table. I would definitely represent these for the Ghost Kill, though, because of what they do.
Right.
Twice per battle, after an attack's been allocated to the model, you can change the damage characteristic of that attack to 0.
Okay, and do you get to pick when to use these, or is it the first one that goes onto the model?
So you get to pick. So it's after an attack has been allocated.
Wow, that's very powerful.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Now, keep the tokens on the board, the stealth drones on the board, because then after you've used it once, you can take one drone off.
Cool.
After you use it twice, you take both drones off, and then you know that it can't use that anymore.
Yeah, sure.
This is incredibly powerful against a weapon that has devastating wounds and a high amount of damage.
Oh, yes.
Because if something like a Wraith Knight fires a Wraith Cannon shot at this guy and rolls a 6 or puts a 6 in with the fake dice, it's 2d6 mortal wounds. You make the damage characteristic of the weapon 0, devastating wounds inflicts mortal wounds, equal to the damage characteristic of the weapon, no damage.
Okay, that's a very tanky drone.
I like it. Yes.
I like the drone.
Yeah, it's quite a Wraith Cannon. Yeah,
Lord, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's excellent. And then you've got a variety of upgrades you can give it. So you can get the stealth, you can get the smoke keyword.
Okay.
I mean, it already has stealth. So
I was going to say,
be giving yourself
they cancel each other.
Cover.
Yeah.
So not amazing. So you're probably going to go. You may as well take it anyway because you can. It's like there's no like other option. Sure, fine, whatever. The cyclic ion and the fusion is the decision.
Right.
Now, because you've got lone operative.
Right.
To make use of that, you don't want to be that close to the enemy. So taking a cyclic ion gives you a 36-inch range.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's strength 8, AP2, flat 3 damage with 6 shots.
And does it have the hazardous thing the same as the crisis?
It does, exactly the same.
Right.
So 3 mortal wounds, but you'd only roll 1 dice after you've shot with it.
Okay, yeah, and you're only going to lose 3 wounds from 12, so cool, it's quarter of his wounds if he rolls that one.
So you can put in consistent damage over the course of a game with this Ghost Kill using this Ion Ray Kill. I mean, it's damage 3.
It's fantastic.
6 shots.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And then you probably would take something like the Twin Burst Cannon because it's also 18-inch range. So it's just more shots you can throw in, and it's twin linked, so you reroll wounds.
And that's still outside of the threshold of the lone operative. Right, okay. Brilliant.
These benefit particularly from the strike and phase stratagem.
Okay, yeah.
Because obviously you can go in, get within range, shoot, and then jump out so that your lone operative's still there.
Yeah, because there's obviously you could get within the 9, get the extra AP if you wanted to, and hop back out. Right, okay. It's all making sense now, mate.
Exactly. And if they're out of range, just use them to guide, to observe another unit. It's so confusing because one unit is guiding the guided unit, but you call them an observer.
Yes.
Anyway.
We will get there eventually, mate.
We'll get there eventually.
Exactly.
So that's the Ghost Kill. Great unit,
Fantastic.
170 points as it stands. Solid.
I think he's worth it for 170 points.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Awesome. What's the last unit, mate?
So the stealth battlesuits.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like a sleeper unit.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. They infiltrate, so they're great for any screening you might want to do. They're one of the only units in the book that does infiltrate.
Okay.
I say that. Did the Ghost Kill infiltrate? It does.
Oh, so the Ghost. So that's 2.
Yeah. So you've got the Ghost Kill infiltrates. They can infiltrate. I think there's like a Crute unit that infiltrate. Anyway, so these guys can infiltrate.
Right.
And they've got this excellent ability, forward observers. If they are observing, then the guided unit can reroll wound rolls of 1.
So that's fantastic because you're increasing the output again, but on the wound roll rather than the hit roll, which is what the army rule gives originally.
Exactly. So you'll get your sustained 2. You're going to have more dice now to reroll 1s to wound with.
That's brilliant. Nice. I like it, mate.
Yeah. Really strong. These guys also let you use rapid ingress for 0 command points.
On them?
Or if someone arrives within 3 inches of them.
Okay, so this is cool because this is another interaction that's similar to the 9th edition one where you could have crisis suits come within range of them, wasn't it? Whereas now it's just rapid ingress. That's brilliant.
Yep, and stacks well with the using a stratagem twice.
Yeah.
Because you could have 2 stealth teams do it free but twice.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
And then it's very cool.
So is it wholly within 3 or just 3?
It's just within 3.
Oh, so you could put
6. Put 6 there, yeah. You can put 6 in the commander there.
That's spicy.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, I like it.
Very good.
I like it.
And provided you're not within 9 inches horizontally of the enemy.
Sure.
But you could equally sort of string the unit out, try and get a few a bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously you don't want the stealth suits getting killed too early on. Like we said, how the army plays, that patient hunter style.
Yes, exactly. Well, they sound great to me, mate. Do they have good damage output or?
They're not really there for the damage.
They're just there for the.
They're there for the spotting, but that's kind of how you want some of your spotting units.
Yeah.
They either need to be reliable enough on their own, or they need to give out a buff and just guide and not be particularly strong in any other area.
Cool.
What's great is that these can do your mission cards as well.
Yes.
So they can do a mission card, but they can still observe.
That's brilliant. No, I like it, mate. I like it. Is there any other units you wanted to just mention?
I'm a big fan of hammerheads now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a big fan of hammerheads. So you've got a couple of options. The railgun is okay.
Yeah.
Very high damage, high strength. The ion cannon, though, comes in again hazardous.
Right.
But with flat 3 damage popping out of it.
Okay.
Flat 3 damage is quite rare in 10th edition 40k. Being able to kick it out in spades is something T'au can do.
Yeah.
So building into that. These guys get an inbuilt reroll.
Okay, so that's
on
good.
A hit or a wound.
Yeah, sure, that's good.
Which means they're actually quite good to be a unit that observes, because they're reasonably reliable on their own.
Right, yeah.
But equally, they're going to benefit from being guided too.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And then you've got seeker missiles underneath. And accelerator burst cannons.
Sure.
It's a lot of shots.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Sounds good. And any others?
Well, I've got to mention the broadside.
Of course.
I can't go on forever, but the broadsides, one of my favourite models. The big gun is going to be some of the highest and most reliable strength weapons.
Right. Is it rail cannon?
Heavy rail rifle.
Rail rifle. Oh.
Yes, heavy rail rifle.
Okay.
So it's 2 shots.
Right.
And it's strength 12, AP4, D6 plus 1 damage.
Brilliant.
Does have devastating wounds as well.
Ooh.
And it does have heavy.
Okay.
So if you guide this unit, it becomes ballistic skill 3+.
With them +1 to hit.
+1 to hit with heavy, hitting on 2s with these guns, with potentially sustained hits too.
That's fantastic.
From turn 3 onwards. It's very, very good. However, you need to play these guys carefully because they only move 5 inches. You're going to use those first 2 turns to set up where these guys are going to start absolutely nailing the enemy.
Yeah, so you want to do that patient hunter style.
Exactly.
Try and wait until you get that line of sight, then bang. Yeah. You've got all them shots and you're doing the damage.
Exactly. And you're still fine to move and shoot. The heavy, hitting on 2s is great and all, but the hitting on 3s is...
See, they've got 2 up save as well, toughness 6.
Yeah, 2 up save, toughness 6, 8 wounds each.
Cool.
And a feel and a pain 4+ against mortal wounds.
Oh, fantastic.
So... Even better. Now, one thing we didn't mention about the crisis suits, of course, is shield drones. We said they give you an extra wound, but you can imagine 6 crisis suits with 6 wounds each.
Yeah.
4 up Bimban and 6 up Feeling Pain. Likewise, you could put shield drones with broadsides.
Right.
You could put a broadside up to 10 wounds potentially. And then, obviously, you can use stim injectors for the Feel No Pain as well.
Yeah. So these guys could be like a backfield objective holder.
Yep.
They've got the range, they've got the firepower, so they literally can just be a really good anti-tank.
And if you're worried about how slow they are, put them in strategic reserve.
Sure. Exactly.
Come on, you can guide them. They're still pretty accurate. And they've got line of sight on all sorts of stuff now.
Yeah, the army sounds like it's going to be working off synergies with each other, right?
Exactly.
So you want everyone to be teaming up, looking at an opponent and being like, right, this is my target, you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I like it, mate. I think the units that you've showcased are very strong. There are a few others that we do know about, like Tetras.
Yeah. So Tetras are in the Forge World Index.
Yeah.
They're a little too cheap for what they can do, but if they guide someone, basically the guided unit gets reroll hits, which is obviously very, very strong.
Exactly.
And they're not easy to kill either.
No, exactly. So yeah, that's another way of maybe getting the rerolls to hit.
Yes.
But yeah, I think overall the army does sound like it's got some good synergy buffs.
Yeah.
It can definitely do the damage.
Definitely.
But yeah, you just got to hope your opponent doesn't make it into combat and start tearing you up.
Yeah.
But you do have defenses against it.
I mean, the crisis suits are probably okay. As seen in some of our battle reports.
Yeah, they definitely can soak up some damage.
Yeah, exactly. So play your cards right, pair your units up, make use of your abilities, and you are good to go with this army.
Yeah.
That target priority is key as a T'au player.
Yeah.
So that's
And we're saying probably more tactical with this army, right? Rather than anything. And the big weakness is they give away quite a lot on fixed, which is...
Yeah, so tactical can be good, depends on how you build it.
Right.
You're going to need to put some units in there just to do that kind of thing, like piranhas, or the stealth suits can do this too. Vespids, fast units that are cheap. Fixed is ideal because you can guide yourself against a specific target. You can eliminate it, or you can move a unit and put it in the middle of the board to deploy a teleport homer every turn consistently. Because of how the army works in needing that turn 3, 4, and 5. As your big damage turns, you don't really want to be playing, going different places on the board, turn 1 and 2. So fixed is ideal, but you can play tactical with the T'au.
Cool. All right, well, should we run over your list?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll talk through the list.
Awesome. Okay, Mike, so let's run through this list. So what have we got in the army?
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do was take one of the named characters, either Shadowsun or Farsight.
Right.
Now, Farsight's pretty popular.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Shadowsun in this one.
Is there a tactical reason for it? Or
Tactically, I think she's great as a lone operative.
Yeah.
I want to build into this patient hunter kind of style. So she's going to hop around with a few other units, giving them rerolls whilst also standing on an objective.
Yeah.
A certain distance away from the enemy to make use of that lone operative.
Nice,
So
cool.
She's in there with her reroll 1's aura. That's her main thing.
Yeah.
We then have a Cold Star commander.
Cool, which is this guy?
And this guy, he gives the unit movement 12 and makes their weapons assault.
Okay,
Crisis suits have an advance related ability, so they get a buff to their advance.
Right.
Now, they don't normally have assaults. That doesn't work very well for them, ability,
sure.
but having this guy makes it work. So
Fantastic.
it's like a double buff. By attaching him to them, they get something, and it works.
Cool, so another synergy.
Exactly.
Cool.
Now, weapon loadouts, there's a variety of plasma rifles and cyclic ion blasters here.
Yeah.
Remember that if you shoot with a cyclic ion blaster on the commander, but also with the unit, you can pick where the more wounds go.
Cool. And it's a 6-man unit, right?
A 6-man unit of Crisis. Sorry, yes, I'm going through the characters first, but he is going to lead 6 Crisis suits.
Cool.
Again, loadout, definitely a shield generator on there.
Yeah.
And then 3 weapons, like I said earlier, 2 cyclic and a plasma.
Awesome. I like it, mate.
All right. Awesome. So then we've got a Firesight Marksman.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just a 70 points, lone operative, great for sitting on the backfield.
Yeah.
It does have some shots, but, they're okay.
Yeah, sure.
But can guide a unit, or rather, can observe for a unit.
Yes. See,
and has the marker like keywords.
Exactly, mate.
To give them ignores cover as well.
Nice.
So very nice. Then I've got Long Strike.
Ooh, okay.
So I quite like Long Strike because he's not much more points than a normal hammerhead.
Right.
But his base ballistic skill on all his guns is 3.
Oh, nice.
So if you if you observe for Long Strike,
Mike, I'm going to drill this into your head soon, mate.
if you observe for Long Strike, he hits on 2s.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah.
Right? So then next to Shadowsun, re-rolling the 1s to hit. He's a pretty consistent amount of shooting. He does have a cool ability where he has +1 to hit against monsters and vehicles anyway.
Fantastic.
Which means that he can observe for someone else. And he's independent enough to do the damage.
He's an independent T'au.
He's an independent T'au.
Cool.
And then can buff the other hammerhead.
Right.
That's probably going to be paired with him to do more damage. Right. So guide that other one so it hits on 3s, and then he's going to hit on 2s.
Cool.
And like both reroll 1s around Shadowsun.
Right.
So he also has the reroll that all hammerheads have. Like
cool. So he can re-roll himself. Say if she had to go off and do something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Definitely.
Then can give lethal hits as well in the command phase to another hammerhead.
Oh,
which is pretty nice, especially when I'm rocking ion cannons on them both.
I was going to say, because this thing has devastating on its big cannon, right?
Yes.
So it wouldn't work in conjunction with that.
Not ideally.
Yeah.
No, but the ion cannon, because it's not as high strength.
Yeah.
So the ion cannon is strength 8 overcharged.
Cool. Right.
All right.
It's damage 3.
But it's AP2 damage 3. So making that lethal hits on a different hammerhead is pretty handy.
Yeah.
But I haven't taken 2 hammerheads because he only buffs 1.
Yeah. So, well, he's a hammerhead himself, isn't he?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. So we've got a lot of firepower there.
I like it.
From those 2.
Yeah.
We then have obviously the crisis suits I've mentioned.
Yep.
We have some broadsides.
Just how many?
3.
3 broadsides.
3 broadsides in a unit.
Yeah.
They've got the heavy rail rifles.
Cool. Are you going to strat reserve them or?
It depends on my opponent. I certainly could.
Right. Okay.
And that would be a good way of getting an angle.
Yeah. Sure.
I've then got a missile drone per broadside.
Okay, so that's more dedicated shooting from the unit.
More shooting from the unit. This is a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
And they've got twin plasma rifles.
And
Okay? That's instead of the missiles.
Do they have and they have the shield drone?
And they have a seeker missile and a shield drone. They've got a lot of stuff going on, George. So shield drone, so 9 wounds each.
Yeah.
Missile pod, so 2 like missile shots that damage 2 each. A twin plasma rifle, and then a seeker missile each on top of that.
Cool. Right. These guys are tooled out.
They are tooled
for
out.
war.
They are. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
That is a 3-man all-man army right there.
Yeah. Sure. I like it, mate.
Then we've got 2 go skills.
Okay.
With
So
the loadout I mentioned earlier.
yeah, you're making use of the lone operative in the army. Clearly, I like it.
Yeah. And then one of them can sit on your home objective if you're worried
Well, so you've got 4 lone operatives in this list.
It's a very strong rule.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You've got Shadow Sun, you've got the Firesight team, and you've got 2 of these.
If you can shoot people and just not be shot back, that's you're winning.
Yeah, guard armies are crying right now.
They actually are. I'm a little bit sad as a guard.
I'm sure you are, mate.
We've got the 2 stealth teams.
Okay.
So 2 stealth teams start further up the board, do actions for me, and support my shooting.
Yep.
And then I've got 2 piranhas.
Okay, so we didn't mention these. So what's their benefit, mate?
So they're very fast.
Okay.
They're very cheap.
Right.
And for their points, essentially, you've got a model that is toughness 7 with 7 wounds.
Cool.
Which means that people don't want to put in the amount of firepower they have to kill this unit.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And being a vehicle, they're going to be eligible to shoot regardless of their situation.
Yep.
And they also come with 2 seeker missiles each. 2 Mika missiles. 2
Mika?
seeker. Not the artist. No affiliation. 2 seeker missiles each.
Right.
And I've given the burst cannon. But it's a fair bit of firepower.
Nice.
And they score objectives really, really well.
Yeah, it seems like you've got a lot of smaller units and obviously your piranhas as well to go out and do your objectives, your missions.
Yeah.
And you've built heavily into this lone operative.
I have, yes. This is a list that may not do tactical hugely well.
Okay.
You could probably deploy teleport homers and then kill stuff.
Right.
It's very good at killing stuff.
Yeah.
But we only really have the stealth suits and the piranhas that go out and score things.
I think teleport homers would be good though, right? Because
I agree.
You can get 5 points it's 5 points, right?
It's 5 points if you do it in enemy territory.
So they've got the speed.
Yep.
For starters.
Yep.
You've definitely got the tough units as well to deal with enemy units.
Yep.
So yeah, it really makes your opponent think, how am I going to deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a piranha in the middle of the table, it's going to be eligible to shoot even if your enemy's in combat with it. So it's going to be able to do the deploy teleport homers every turn.
Cool.
So I think that would be my approach with the list.
Is that everything in the list?
That
as
is
well?
it. It's mostly guns and
that's
lone
how play, right?
Yes, exactly.
So obviously with the piranhas and stuff, are you going to be moving them out turn 1, or are you going to be waiting until that turn 2 to start pushing for them points?
So I'm probably going to be doing very little turn 1, except setting up my lines of fire.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to identify a couple of places on the board where I can combine several units firepower.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make sure I have units that can guide, also looking at those places.
Yeah.
The piranhas, again, great for guiding because they're so fast, they can cut angles.
Sure.
So yes, my turn 1 would be very limited, unless you run at me, obviously.
Yeah.
And then turn 2, move a little bit more.
Yeah.
Set myself up for that big turn 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any enhancements that you actually put in the list, or?
So the enhancements, I think I've gone for the extra stratagem on the Cold Star.
Cool. Right.
Extra
So
stratagem on
you've gone for that on the one unit.
Yeah. I'm thinking if someone shoots one of my other battle suits,
Yeah.
I get a Feeling of Pain, and then I can do it again here.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the CP regen that Shadowsun gives me, I can make use of that.
Well, I now like you, a patient hunter, mate.
Thank you.
It sounds like a very patient army.
Thank you. I'm a patient man.
I'm not. That's why I play Blood Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't do that, mate. I just want to run at you. But yeah, this list sounds amazing. I've really enjoyed just talking to you about these T'au as much as... Oh, I don't know T'au. But as much as you've explained it to me, I've kind of understood the way that the army works and stuff,
cool.
now, mate. So, yeah, it sounds really good. Sounds like they've got a specific way of playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for watching. And if you have any combos that we may have missed or you might want to just talk about, put it in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you on a video very soon.
See ya.